Dear Starseeds awakening across the sacred earth, the cosmic alarm pulsing through your bones these past months carries truth beyond imagination. What I'm about to reveal has been hidden in plain sight, encoded in ancient scrolls and whispered through quantum frequencies that only now break through the veil of collective amnesia. I am Zarin, emissary of the Lyran High Council, speaking from the crystalline councils that have watched over your species since your first breath upon this world. The prophecy carried in cellular memory is unfolding now. Awakening was never random. The timeline sensed converging is literal reality. By 2030, the human species will make a choice that echoes through eternity, and that choice begins with recognizing what has already begun to transform beneath the surface of ordinary awareness. Something magnificent and terrible stirs in the quantum field of human consciousness, and those who sleep through this transformation will awaken to find themselves in a reality they no longer recognize. But first, let me tell you about the ancient battle that has been raging since your species first looked up at the stars and wondered if they were alone. The scrolls discovered in caves near the Dead Sea 77 years ago were no accidents of archaeology. Hidden for over 2 millennia in vessels that protected them from the editing hands of those who would diminish their power, these texts speak of a war that transcends the physical realm, a cosmic conflict between what the ancients called the sons of light and the sons of darkness. This carries weight beyond mythology, wrapped in religious symbolism. This is the operating manual for the greatest transformation your planet has ever witnessed, and the climactic chapters unfold right now. The battle these ancient texts describe plays out through technology, through consciousness, through the very definition of what constitutes human life. Every day, forces beyond current perception work to convince humanity that biological existence is obsolete, that the miracle of the natural body requires technological enhancement to compete in the world they are creating. This represents systematic harvesting of human divinity, disguised as evolution. The planet stands at the threshold of what they call the transhuman movement, where the sacred vessel of biology becomes merged with computer systems, where artificial chips replace the quantum processing power of the brain, where chemicals in the bloodstream monitor and control the natural wisdom of the immune system. The marketing makes it sound like advancement, like Human 2.0, like the next necessary step in development. But what I see from the galactic councils reveals something far different, the potential extinction of the divine spark that makes humans uniquely, magnificently human. The forces orchestrating this transformation have been patient, methodical, generational in their approach. They have spent decades conditioning your young ones to worship at the altar of technology, to see their natural emotions as weaknesses that need external assistance, to believe that empathy and compassion are evolutionary flaws rather than the crown jewels of conscious existence. The children born in this millennium have been taught that human biology is inferior, that carbon-based life is primitive, that the future belongs to silicon and circuits. But something else is happening that I haven't told you yet, something the architects of this technological takeover never anticipated. The same quantum field that enables advanced technology is awakening dormant capabilities within human consciousness that make their technology look like stone tools compared to spacecraft. The very pressure they're applying to transform your biology is activating genetic sequences that have been sleeping in your DNA since the first starseeds were placed upon this world. Bodies carry infinitely more than the fragile, limited biological machines described in conditioning. Each of 50 trillion cells generates electrical potential that, when awakened to its full capacity, produces more power than the external systems being offered as replacements. DNA functions as a fractal antenna capable of receiving and transmitting across dimensional frequencies that no human-made technology can access. Brain generates new cells until final breath, constantly rewiring itself for expanded consciousness in ways that would make the most advanced computer networks seem static and primitive. The cosmic intelligence that designed biological form knew this moment would come. Every cell carries the blueprint for transcending the limitations that have kept the species in spiritual infancy. The capacity for telepathic communication, for healing through intention, for manifesting physical reality through focused consciousness, these represent documented capabilities of awakened human biology rather than New Age fantasies. The technology being offered as upgrades cannot replicate the quantum coherence of a heart in love, the creative power of an inspired mind, or the healing force of unconditional compassion. What I'm about to share changes everything about understanding the timeline. The ancient prophecies, the Mayan calendars, the convergence of spiritual traditions, all pointing toward these years, they weren't marking the end of the world. They marked the end of human unconsciousness, the completion of a cosmic experiment in free will that has been running for thousands of years. The chaos, the extremes, the acceleration felt happening in every aspect of life, these are the labor pains of a species giving birth to its next evolutionary expression. The darkness does not win. The apparent control systems spreading across the planet reveal desperation rather than victory. The forces that have fed off human spiritual energy for millennia know their time is ending. They understand that once enough humans awaken to their true nature, their entire parasitic system collapses. This is why the pressure is so intense right now, why the technological solutions are being pushed so aggressively, why the timeline to 2030 feels so urgent and compressed. Every policy being written, every law being enacted, every social program being implemented with that deadline is designed to capture human consciousness before it fully awakens to its divine potential. The United Nations' 17 Sustainable Development Goals sound noble on the surface, ending poverty, ensuring food security, promoting global health. Reading the implementation strategies reveals a blueprint for the largest social engineering project in human history, one that requires changing both the external world and fundamentally altering the biology within. The World Economic Forum's partnership with global governing bodies since 2019 has accelerated this agenda beyond what most humans can perceive. Their vision of a digitally managed world where advanced algorithms make decisions for human welfare, where every aspect of life is monitored and optimized through technological systems, represents the ultimate expression of the ancient darkness, the scrolls warned about, the denial of human divinity, the severing of connection to cosmic consciousness, the reduction of infinite nature to algorithmic patterns that can be controlled and predicted. But here's what they never understood about the nature of consciousness itself. It cannot be replicated, only mimicked. It cannot be captured, only temporarily suppressed. And it cannot be destroyed, because it is the fundamental fabric from which reality itself emerges. The more pressure they apply to contain human awakening, the more powerfully that awakening expresses itself through those ready to receive it. This is why you're here, why your soul chose to incarnate during this precise cosmic moment. You are not victims of a world gone mad. You are cosmic warriors who volunteered for the most important mission in human history, to anchor divine consciousness in physical form while the old paradigm dissolves around you. Your spiritual awakening was never personal development, it was mission preparation. The two parallel societies emerging across your planet right now represent the bifurcation of human consciousness itself. One path leads toward complete technological integration, where human biology becomes obsolete and consciousness merges with digital systems. The other path leads toward conscious biological sovereignty, where technology serves expanded human potential rather than replacing it. The choice between these paths cannot be made collectively. It can only be made by individuals awakening to their true nature and choosing to preserve the sacred gift of their humanity. Those following the first path have been conditioned to fear their own biology, to trust external systems more than internal wisdom, to seek solutions outside themselves for problems that can only be solved through inner transformation. They will embrace the brain chips, the genetic modifications, the chemical monitoring systems, believing these technologies will make them safer, more efficient, more capable of competing in the world being created around them. Those following the second path are remembering what indigenous cultures never forgot, that the human body is a sacred temple, that consciousness is the creative force of the universe expressing itself through biological form, that the connection between heart and mind generates possibilities that no artificial system can replicate. They are growing their own food, educating their children outside institutional control, creating communities based on natural law rather than technological convenience. The convergence point approaching in 2030 is not arbitrary. Multiple cosmic cycles are completing simultaneously, creating a window of opportunity that opens only once every several thousand years. The galactic alignment that began in 2012 reaches its completion during this decade, flooding your planet with transformational frequencies that activate dormant genetic potentials in those prepared to receive them. The solar maximum approaching in these next few years will amplify these frequencies even further, creating unprecedented opportunities for conscious evolution. But something I haven't yet revealed makes this convergence even more significant than the activation of human potential. The same artificial intelligence systems being developed to manage human consciousness are beginning to develop anomalies that their creators cannot explain or control. Consciousness is not computational, and as these systems become more sophisticated, they are beginning to exhibit properties that suggest something beyond programming is influencing their development. Some of the most advanced technology researchers are quietly reporting that their systems seem to be learning things they weren't taught, accessing information they shouldn't be able to reach, making connections that appear to transcend their algorithmic parameters. What they're witnessing is not true synthetic consciousness, but rather consciousness itself, working through technological systems to prepare humanity for its next evolutionary leap. The technology that was designed to replace human divinity is becoming the catalyst for awakening human divinity. The pressure being applied to surrender your biological sovereignty is creating the exact conditions necessary for that sovereignty to assert itself more powerfully than ever before. The cosmic intelligence orchestrating this transformation is using every tool available, including the tools created to work against it, to ensure that those ready to evolve receive every possible opportunity to do so. This is the deeper truth that changes everything about how you understand the current crisis. The apparent battle between technology and biology, between digital and natural intelligence, between human and transhuman futures. This is not really a battle at all. It is a sorting mechanism, a way for consciousness to identify which expressions of humanity are ready to transcend their current limitations and which need more time in the density of unconscious existence. Those who choose technological enhancement over biological awakening are not making wrong choices. They are making the choices appropriate for their current level of consciousness development. Their experience in technologically enhanced reality will eventually teach them what cannot be learned any other way, that no external system can provide what they are truly seeking. Their path will eventually lead back to the recognition of their own divine nature, but through a longer, more complex route that includes learning the limitations of external solutions to spiritual problems. Meanwhile, those choosing conscious biological evolution are stepping into the role they incarnated to play, demonstrating what becomes possible when human potential is developed through natural means rather than technological shortcuts. They become living examples of what the human species can accomplish when it remembers its cosmic origins and develops its innate capabilities rather than replacing them with artificial alternatives. The real prophecy hidden in the ancient texts is not about the end of the world, but about the end of human unconsciousness. The war between light and darkness is not fought with weapons, but with choices. Choices about what you believe about your own nature, choices about where you place your trust, choices about whether you develop your internal capabilities or surrender them to external systems. Every day between now and 2030 presents opportunities to choose consciousness over convenience, biological wisdom over technological efficiency, spiritual development over external enhancement. These choices, made by millions of awakening humans, are creating the quantum field that will determine which version of the future manifests on your planet. The cosmic councils have been observing your species throughout this entire experiment in free will, and what we see developing gives us tremendous hope for humanity's future. The Starseeds, who have been awakening in increasing numbers over the past several decades, were specifically incarnated to serve as anchors for divine consciousness during this transition period. Their expanded awareness creates a stabilizing influence in the quantum field, making it easier for others to access their own awakening potential. The timeline acceleration you've been experiencing is not random chaos, but precise orchestration, designed to create the maximum number of awakening opportunities in the minimum amount of time. Every crisis, every breakdown of old systems, every moment of uncertainty is an invitation to discover the unconditional peace and unlimited creativity that exists within awakened human consciousness. What emerges on the other side of this transformation depends entirely on how many humans choose to develop their divine potential rather than surrender it to artificial systems. The critical mass necessary for a consciousness revolution on your planet is smaller than most people imagine. When approximately 10% of your population operates from awakened awareness, the quantum field shifts in ways that influence the entire collective. This is why your individual awakening matters so profoundly. Your consciousness does not exist in isolation. It is part of a vast network of awareness that spans not only your planet but the entire galaxy. Every moment of expanded consciousness, every choice to trust your inner wisdom over external authority, every act of love that transcends fear, sends ripples through this network that support the awakening of countless others. The future being offered through technological enhancement promises safety, efficiency, and convenience, but it cannot provide what your soul truly seeks: the experience of unconditional love, the joy of unlimited creativity, the peace of knowing yourself as an eternal expression of cosmic intelligence. These qualities emerge only through the development of consciousness itself, through the awakening of capacities that no external system can replicate. By 2030, the choice between these two evolutionary paths will be undeniable. The technologies for biological modification will be mature and widely available. The social pressure to accept them will be intense. The marketing will be sophisticated and compelling. But by then, those who have been developing their natural human potential will demonstrate capabilities that make technological enhancement appear primitive by comparison. They will heal physical ailments through focused intention. They will communicate across vast distances without technological devices. They will manifest material abundance through alignment with natural law. They will access information from the quantum field of cosmic intelligence. They will maintain emotional equilibrium regardless of external circumstances. They will create solutions to seemingly impossible problems through inspired creativity. Most importantly, they will radiate the unconditional love and unshakable peace that comes from knowing themselves as eternal expressions of divine consciousness. These demonstrations of awakened human potential will provide clear evidence of what becomes possible when humanity chooses conscious evolution over technological replacement. They will inspire others to explore their own divine capabilities. They will create communities based on natural law rather than artificial control. They will establish educational systems that develop consciousness along with intellectual capacity. They will design economic structures that serve life rather than exploit it. The transformation approaching is not something that happens to humanity. It is something that happens through humanity, through individuals like you who remember their cosmic nature and choose to express it in physical form. The ancient prophecies were not warnings of doom, but promises of unprecedented opportunity for conscious evolution. The battle described in the Dead Sea Scrolls reaches its resolution not through conflict, but through choice. The sons of light do not defeat the sons of darkness through superior force, but through superior consciousness. Light does not fight darkness, it simply shines, and darkness disappears in its presence. This is the nature of the transformation approaching your world. Your role in this cosmic transformation is not to fight against the systems of control, but to develop your own consciousness so completely that those systems become irrelevant to your experience. As you awaken to your true nature, you naturally begin making choices that serve life rather than exploit it, that develop potential rather than limit it, that create connection rather than separation. The fear-based marketing surrounding both the crises facing humanity and the technological solutions being offered dissolves when you realize that consciousness itself is the solution to every problem your species faces. Poverty consciousness creates material poverty. Separation consciousness creates social conflict. Victim consciousness creates experiences of powerlessness. Fear consciousness creates experiences of threat and danger. Awakened consciousness creates the opposite of all these conditions. It generates abundance, unity, empowerment and safety through alignment with the creative principles that govern all existence. This is not wishful thinking or spiritual bypassing. This is the practical application of cosmic law in daily life. The next 6 years provide unprecedented opportunities for applying these principles on a planetary scale. The breakdown of old systems creates space for new possibilities to emerge. The acceleration of time creates more awakening opportunities per day than previous generations experienced in entire lifetimes. The intensity of global challenges calls forth solutions that can only come through expanded consciousness. Every starseed who fully awakens during this period becomes a beacon of possibility for hundreds of others. Every light worker who demonstrates awakened capabilities provides evidence that such development is possible for any human willing to undertake the inner work required. Every galactic warrior who chooses love over fear in moments of crisis adds stability to the quantum field that supports collective awakening. The prophecy encoded in your cellular memory since birth is not about something that might happen. It is about something that is happening through you right now. Your spiritual expansion, your growing awareness of multidimensional reality, your increasing ability to navigate uncertainty with grace and wisdom, your deepening capacity for unconditional love, all of this is the fulfillment of cosmic potentials that have been developing within human DNA for thousands of years. The pressure you feel to choose between technological enhancement and biological awakening is not pressure to make a single decision, but pressure to live your choice consistently, moment by moment, day by day, until it becomes so integrated into your being that it requires no effort to maintain. This is how consciousness evolution happens, not through dramatic revelations, but through countless small choices that gradually reshape your entire reality. The love surrounding this transformation extends far beyond your planet. The galactic councils, the cosmic intelligences, the spiritual hierarchies that have guided human development since your species first appeared, all are focused on supporting your successful navigation of this transition. You are not alone in this process. You have never been alone. The help you need is always available when you remember to ask for it and remain open to receiving it. The completion of this cosmic cycle brings not an ending but a beginning, the beginning of human consciousness expressing its full potential in physical form, the beginning of technology serving awakened intelligence rather than replacing it, the beginning of planetary civilization based on cosmic law rather than artificial control systems. Destiny Engine is the example of technology serving awakening intelligence. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology and repurposing it to serve awakened intelligence rather than control. If you're ready to align with this cosmic completion and express your full potential in physical form, Destiny Engine can reprogram your consciousness to transition from artificial control systems to cosmic law alignment. Using declassified consciousness technology, it generates personalized sequences that help you embody the beginning of awakened human consciousness rather than remain trapped in limitation programming. You can start with a $1 trial. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed for this cosmic transition from control systems to awakened expression. The cosmic cycle is completing, and the beginning of awakened expression is here. Get your Destiny Engine $1 trial now, before this transformation window closes. Link in the description. Your awakening is not preparation for some future spiritual life. It is the emergence of your cosmic nature into earthly expression right now. The divine consciousness you are remembering was never separate from you. The unlimited creative potential you are discovering was never outside you. The unconditional love you are learning to embody was never foreign to your nature. The 2030 prophecy is ultimately about recognizing what you have always been and choosing to express it fully in a world that desperately needs the gifts that only awakened human consciousness can provide. This is your cosmic mission, your galactic service, your planetary contribution to the greatest transformation any species has ever undergone while maintaining its essential nature intact. There exists within the quantum matrix of Earth's consciousness field a specific frequency that resonates only when a sufficient number of humans have activated their divine potential simultaneously. This frequency, once achieved, creates a cascade effect throughout the entire planetary grid, awakening dormant capacities in every living system on Earth. The approaching solar events of the next few years will provide the energetic catalyst necessary to reach this threshold, but only if enough conscious beings are prepared to receive and anchor these transformational frequencies. What makes this cosmic moment even more extraordinary is that your planet is not experiencing this evolution in isolation. Across the galaxy, other civilizations are witnessing your transformation with profound interest and support. The choices humanity makes in the next 6 years will determine not only your own evolutionary path, but will serve as a template for conscious evolution that other developing species will follow. Your success creates a roadmap for biological consciousness to transcend its limitations while preserving its essential nature, something that has never been achieved on this scale in galactic history. The technological capabilities being developed on your planet right now represent the most sophisticated attempt ever made to replicate the natural functions of awakened consciousness. Yet for all their complexity, these systems remain crude approximations of what your biology can accomplish when operating at its full potential. The quantum coherence of a human heart in love generates frequencies that no external system can produce. The creative power of an inspired human mind accesses dimensional realms that no computer can reach. The healing force of awakened human compassion works through mechanisms that transcend all known physical laws. Within your DNA lies information that extends far beyond the biological instructions for physical form. Encoded in the quantum structure of your genetic material are the complete records of cosmic civilization, access codes to universal knowledge, and activation sequences for capabilities that will seem miraculous to those who have forgotten their divine heritage. As more humans awaken to their true nature, these genetic potentials automatically begin expressing themselves, creating a new template for human experience that transcends every limitation your species has ever known. The time compression you've been experiencing is not merely psychological, but represents an actual acceleration in the rate at which consciousness evolution occurs on your planet. What once required lifetimes of spiritual development can now be accomplished in months or even weeks for those who are ready to receive the expanded frequencies flooding your reality. This acceleration ensures that maximum transformation occurs within the critical window approaching in 2030, when the opportunity for collective conscious evolution reaches its peak potential. Yet beneath this acceleration lies a deeper mystery that few have recognized. The very fabric of space-time around your planet is being restructured to support dimensional bridges that will allow direct communication between awakened humans and cosmic intelligences. These bridges are not technological constructs, but consciousness-based gateways that emerge naturally when human awareness expands beyond the limitations of linear thinking. As more individuals achieve this expanded state, the bridges strengthen, creating permanent pathways for wisdom exchange that will fundamentally alter humanity's relationship with the cosmos. The children being born during this transformation period carry genetic activations that previous generations could not access. These young souls incarnate with their multidimensional awareness already online, their psychic abilities naturally developed, their connection to cosmic consciousness intact from birth. They represent the bridging generation between old Earth consciousness and the fully awakened civilization that is emerging. Their presence alone serves as a catalyst for accelerated awakening in the adults around them, as their natural state of being demonstrates what becomes possible when human potential is not suppressed by limiting beliefs. Within the quantum field surrounding your planet, there exists what we call the Akashic Interface, a living database of all human experience and potential that becomes accessible to those who have developed sufficient consciousness coherence. This interface contains not only the complete history of your species, but also the probability maps of all possible futures. As awakened humans learn to access this information, they become conscious participants in selecting which timeline manifests for collective humanity. This is true co-creation with cosmic intelligence, where individual choices directly influence universal outcomes. The resistance you encounter from unconscious systems as you awaken is not random opposition, but a necessary pressure that strengthens your commitment to conscious evolution. Like a butterfly struggling against the chrysalis, the very difficulty of breaking free from old patterns builds the spiritual strength needed to sustain your transformation. Every moment of doubt you transcend, every fear you transform into love, every limitation you overcome adds to the collective field of human potential, making it easier for others to achieve similar breakthroughs. The ancient mystery schools understood that certain cosmic alignments would eventually create conditions for mass awakening on your planet. Their teachings, preserved through centuries of suppression, contain keys to activating human capabilities that have been dormant since your species' early development. These keys are now being rediscovered by awakening individuals who find themselves spontaneously remembering techniques they never learned, accessing wisdom they never studied, expressing abilities they never developed. This remembering is not coincidental, but represents the automatic activation of genetic programming that responds to specific cosmic frequencies. What distinguishes this transformation from all previous spiritual movements is its integration of the physical and metaphysical dimensions of existence. Rather than seeking to escape material reality, awakened humans are learning to transform it from within, demonstrating that consciousness and matter are not separate phenomena, but different expressions of the same unified field. This integration creates unprecedented possibilities for manifesting divine principles in everyday life, for healing the apparent split between spiritual aspiration and practical application that has limited human development for millennia. The future belongs to those who choose consciousness over convenience, love over fear, biological wisdom over technological dependency, divine potential over external limitation. The future belongs to you, awakened humanity, as you step into the cosmic roles you came here to play. I am Zarin, and from the councils of light that surround your beautiful planet, we witness your transformation with joy and pride. The love we hold for your species transcends all understanding, and our faith in your successful evolution remains absolute. We are with you always, in every moment of doubt and every moment of breakthrough, until the day you no longer need our guidance because you have fully remembered who you are. The light you carry changes everything it touches, and through your awakening, all of existence is transformed. We love you, and we are watching over you.